Where does the money go? Have you ever looked at your bank account at the end of the month and wondered, where did everyone go? My money? Perhaps you are working hard. You work every single day. Perhaps you get a decent salary, but somehow by last week, month you count pennies, miss meals or borrowing from friends. Just to survive until payday, you tell yourself, I'm just not enough. I'm making money. But deep down you know that this is not the whole truth. What if the problem is not how much you earn, but in how you manage every dollar passing through your hands? This is history. Victor's story. About a man who was drowning in debt until the old shopkeeper didn't teach him four simple mathematical rules that forever changed his view of money. Stay with me until the end. In a medium-sized city where people, every morning they rush to work and every evening rush to spend money, lived a 29-year-old man named Victor. Victor worked as a junior accountant in a logistics company. He received a reasonable salary, not luxurious, but more than enough for life. Lonely person. But Victor had a problem. With a neighbor. His clothes were new, sometimes too new. His phone number was the last one. Models. His weekends were filled. Dinners in restaurants. There was irony. Painful. Victor was an accountant. At work he managed strangers every day. Finances. But his own money was flowing through fingers like water through a cracked cup. His colleagues often said, Victor, you so good with numbers. It must be you. You're great with money too. He laughed and answered, of course. But inside he felt like a fraud. Comparison with sister. His older sister, who lived in another city, called him once a month. She was a school teacher and earned less. However, she had a small apartment, savings, and she never worried about bills. Victor, have you already started saving? She asked. I'll start, little sister, in next month. Lately everything. It was expensive. It was always next month. What Victor never tells anyone. Hidden debts. Told me that this is what he had. Had credit card debt that was growing. Already 2 years. Every month he paid the minimum. Payment interest was added every month. Even more. It felt like trying. Empty the bathtub while the tap is still open. And the worst part is, he didn't even know exactly how much he owes. He was afraid. Watch. Sometimes at night, lying in bed and looking at the ceiling, the same. The thought circled in his head like caught bird. I make money. Why am I always broke? What am I not doing? Right? He didn't know the answer and it scared him. More than the debt itself. One Friday at boiling point. October, Victor went to buy groceries. The most necessary things. At the cash register he applied. Map. Refusal. He tried again. Refusal. The cashier looked at him. Man in line behind him fidgeted impatiently. Victor's face flushed red. He muttered an apology, left the groceries on the counter and came out empty-handed. Standing outside in the cool evening air, he checked the phone. 3 notifications. Late payment on a credit card. Penalty on phone bill and reminder about rent from the lessor. His total bank balance is $11.40. Since the night he sat alone in his family trouble apartment. The neighbor was not at home. Kitchen was almost empty. He opened a can of noodles. Fast cooking, the cheapest, and ate in silence. Then my sister called. Victor, I need something to tell you. Mom needs dental surgery. It will cost about $2,000. I can cover Half. You can help with the rest. $1,000. His mother needed $1,000 and he, a man with a full-time job, is not. Could even buy groceries. He said, "Let me check my finances, However, she has had a small apartment, savings, and she never worried about bills. Victor, have you already started saving? She asked. I'll start, little sister, in next month. Lately everything. It was expensive. It was always next month. What Victor never tells anyone. Hidden debts. Told me that this is what he had. Had credit card debt that was growing. Already 2 years. Every month he paid the minimum. Payment interest was added every month. Even more. It felt like trying. Empty the bathtub while the tap is still open. And the worst part is, he didn't even know exactly how much he owes. He was afraid. Watch. Sometimes at night, lying in bed and looking at the ceiling, the same. The thought circled in his head, like caught bird. I make money. Why am I always broke? What am I not doing? Right? He didn't know the answer and it scared him. More than the debt itself. One Friday at boiling point. October, Victor went to buy groceries. The most necessary things. At the cash register he applied. Map. Refusal. He tried again. Refusal. The cashier looked at him. Man. In line behind him fidgeted impatiently. Victor's face flushed red. He muttered an apology, left the groceries on the counter and came out empty-handed. Standing on outside in the cool evening air, he checked the phone. 3 notifications. Late payment on a credit card. Penalty on phone bill and reminder about rent from the lessor. His total bank balance is $11.40. Since the night he sat alone in his family trouble apartment. The neighbor was not at home. Kitchen was almost empty. He opened a can of noodles. Fast cooking, the cheapest, and ate in silence. Then my sister called. Victor, I need something to tell you. Mom needs dental surgery. It will cost about $2,000. I can cover half. You can help with the rest. $1,000. His mother needed $1,000 and he, a man with a full-time job, is not. Could even buy groceries. He said, "Let me check my finances, I'll call you back." He hung up and sat motionless for a long time, deciding to change. Then something inside him broke, not from sadness, but from shame. I'm an accountant, he whispered to himself. I make money every single month. Where do they all go? I can't even help your own mother. To the next Saturday morning, Victor did something unusual. Instead of getting enough sleep, he went to old shop, old market area next to mine apartment. He wasn't sure why. Maybe he just needed to think. He noticed a small stationery store, goods and books that he passed by hundreds of times but never visited. The sign was faded, the paint was peeling, but the store was clean and organized. Inside, an elderly man sat behind the counter. A man of about 70. It was wearing simple clothes, reading glasses on his nose, and he wrote down the numbers by hand in a thick ledger. Victor looked through the shelves, not looking for anything specific, but the old man raised his eyes and studied him calmly, insightfully. Glance. Meeting with the sage. You look like a man who is good in numbers, but sucker for money, softly said the old man. Victor froze. How are you? What makes you say that? The old man smiled. Because 40 years ago I was exactly just like you. Sit down. I'll make some tea and I will teach you what they will not teach you anywhere. 1 school. 4 rules of mathematics. Victor sat on a wooden stool opposite the shopkeeper. The tea was warm. The store was quiet. That the old man Said further, he will stay with Victor for the rest of my life. The shopkeeper took a blank sheet of paper and drew 4 symbols, plus sign, minus sign, multiplication sign, and sign. Division. Young man, everything you need know about money can be found in 4 operations you learned in elementary school: addition, subtraction, multiplication. Division. First, he pointed to the plus sign. Rule 1, addition. Most people think that addition means earning more. It's true. Only half. Real addition means adding things that protect and increase your wealth. He wrote a short list. Add knowledge. Find out how it really is. Money works, not just how it works. Spend. Add a tracking habit. Every dollar. Who comes and leaves. Add an emergency fund. Let. Even small, so that when life hits, you are not broken. Add additional sources. Income, even tiny ones, so that you never depend on one salary. He looked to Victor. Tell me, are you tracking? Reserve fund. Your expenses? Victor shook his head. Do you have an emergency fund? Victor lowered eyes. No. Then you were studying math using only half. Numbers, you can't solve equations if you don't know what you're working with. Old man pointed to the minus sign. Now subtraction. Rule 2, subtraction. This is the most difficult thing because it requires you to be honest with yourself. He leaned forward and looked Victor right in the eyes. Subtract. Emotional spending, buying things because that you are sad, bored, or in stress. Subtract your spending habit. Money to impress people who don't really care about you. Affairs. Subtract every subscription, every monthly payment, every little leak that drains your money without your knowledge. He took an old one from the shelf. Teacup. At the bottom she had tiny cracked cup effect. Do you see this cup? If I pour it in tea, it will flow out slowly. First, you won't notice it, but in an hour a cup will be empty. That's unnecessary spending due to your wallet. Coffee is here. Subscription there, the gadget you use. Use twice, small leaks. Big losses. Victor stared at the cup. He thought about their streaming subscriptions. There were 3, and all worked at the same time. Oh, your food orders for delivery. About a gym membership that he doesn't. I used it for 6 months. About the new phone, which he bought when he was still old. Worked. Little leaks every single day. Month. How can I find these cracks? How to find leaks? Victor asked. Write down everything you spent last month. That's it. Then, circle what you really did. Your life is better. Cross out the rest. This is your subtraction. The old man pointed to the multiplication sign. Rule 3, multiplication. Multiplication is not about how get rich overnight. Forget about this. Fantasies. Multiplication is sequence. He drew a simple example on an old piece of paper. Even if you procrastinate a small amount every month and place her to where she can grow, reliable. Savings account, small. Investment, it multiplies over time. Not because of magic, but because of patience. Develop skills that increase your ability to earn. New certification, third-party project, freelancing skill. Each of them is multiplier of your income. And the most powerful, the multiplier of all, is passive income. Money that works while you sleep. It starts small. Maybe only a few dollars a month, but over the years it grows into something that gives you freedom. Finally, the old man pointed to the sign. Rule 4, division. Division. Sharing is the art of giving. Every dollar work before it will come. He drew 4 squares on paper. Living expenses, savings, investments, emergencies. When salary comes, divide it immediately. Don't wait until the end of the month to see what's left. By then, there will be nothing left. Share first, spend what will remain. He added 2 more. Square, training and charity, help others. Save money for your own growth. Course, book, tool that makes better than you, and put something off, let even a little to help others. Because the money that is shared come back to you in ways that numbers cannot measure. The old man put down his pen and seriously. Shopkeeper's philosophy. Looked at Victor. I've been running this store for over 40 years. I've never been fabulously rich, but I've never been hungry. I learned. They're children. I own this building and I sleep well every night. Not because I earned a lot, but because I followed these 4 rules. Everyone. God's month without an exceptions. He pushed the paper towards Victor. Take it. This. Go home. Take an honest look at yours. Finance. Perhaps for the first time in my life. Homework. Apply these 4 operations. Do it in for 3 months and then come back and tell me what has changed. Victor held the paper as if it were something precious. Why are you helping me? He asked. You don't even know me, old man. Smiled. Because 40 years ago someone helped me and I promised that I would pass this on. Further, that Saturday night Victor did something. Victor's first steps, which I avoided for 2 years. He sat down and wrote out every debt, every subscription, every monthly expense, total amount. Shocked him. He spent almost a third his salary for things that he had not needed. He started with subtraction. Cracked cup. He canceled 2 out of 3. Their streaming subscriptions. He deleted app for food delivery from your phone. He suspended and used gym membership and instead started running in the park. He stopped by coffee every morning and started cook it at home. The first week was fighting habits. Uncomfortable. The second week seemed strange. By the third week he is almost didn't notice anything. At the end of the month, Victor stayed for the first time in 2 years. Money. Not a fortune, but something. And it felt something like proof. He moved on to addition and division. He opened a separate savings account and set up automatic transfer per day. Salaries, fixed amount each month before he touches anything else. He created 4 simple cost control categories in your notebook. Life, saving, reserve height. Every dollar had destination even before it arrives. He also started tracking daily your expenses. He only gave it 5 minutes every evening, writing down what he spent and why. It was small habit, but it changed everything. He realized the patterns that never noticed before. And he started learn practical knowledge about how money works. Not complex theories, but simple rules. In the 3rd month, Victor, income multiplication, started thinking about multiplication. He used his accounting skills to offer services. Behavior of freelance accounting. On days off, he helped a small local bakery that needed help with organizing records. Payment was modest, but this was the second source. Income he's never had before. There wasn't. He invested part of his savings into a simple investment account. Low risk without trying. Get rich instantly by simply allowing their money to lie where they could. Grow slowly. By the end of 3 months' life, 3 months later, Victor looked the same from the outside, but everything inside has changed. His duty credit card was reduced for the first time in 2 years. Not because he got bigger, earned money, but because he eliminated leaks. His savings account had small but growing balance. He has There was a reserve fund that could cover 1 month's expenses, and it's on time. Sent his mother the money needed for operations without borrowing from anyone. Returned to the shop. One Saturday morning, Victor again. I went into an old bookstore. Shopkeeper looked up and smiled. You look otherwise easier. Victor sat down. I followed your 4 rules each day for 3 months. I'm not rich, but for the first time in my life, I'm not afraid of mine own bank account. Old man nodded. This is not financial success. This is financial peace. Peace. And peace is worth more than anything. Numbers. Victor pulled out his notebook, filled with 3 months of tracking, plans and small victories. You can ask, one more thing for you. Why did you record handwritten numbers? The old man patted. Thunderbuffel, because when you write down each number by hand, you feel it, you respect it. Money. It's not just mathematics, it's relationships. And relationships require attention. My friend, money has a relationship. Victor's story is not about how to become rich, it's about how to become free. Free from the worry of that you don't know where your money went. Free from the shame of not being able to help loved ones. That no one teaches us the basics. B. At school we teach algebra, but not how manage wages. We teach history, but not how to create a backup fund. We teach science, but not how. Stop spending the money we have. No, for things we don't need. To impress people who don't even want us. Don't like it. So remember 4 rules. Repetition of rules. Addition. Add knowledge, add tracking, add savings, add additional income. Build foundation. Subtraction. Eliminate emotional spending. Eliminate wasteful habits. Fix leaks in your cracked cup and be honest about what you drains. Multiplication. Postpone consistently. Invest patiently, develop skills. Create income streams. Koto. Some work even when you resting. Division. Split your money before spend them. Give every dollar. Work and do not forget to allocate part for learning, to help others and for the future. Here is your challenge, the one that. Step 1, spending analysis. The shopkeeper gave it to Victor. Step 1. Tonight sit down and write down every expense for the past month. Every. Don't judge, just observe. Look for cracks in your cup. Step 2. Tomorrow when yours comes. Step 2, distribution. Next salary, divide first. Whore. Set aside savings before. Spend even $1 on anything. More. Start forming a habit. Step 3. Choose one thing that you will subtract this week. 1. A subscription you don't use. One habit that costs money, but gives nothing. Take it away. Look how you will feel. You don't need. Step 3. Eliminate excess. Earn more to live better. You need to understand the money that you have. You already exist. Victor was an accountant who could not manage his own finances. If he could learn, you can too. You don't need a degree for this. In the field of finance. For this we need. For simple rules, notepad and the courage to face the truth. The shopkeeper said something that I want, so that you carry it throughout your life. Money is not just mathematics, it is relationships. And relationships require attention. Pay attention to your money. Results and conclusions, respect them, guide them, and they will start working for you instead to disappear. The cracked cup is still leaks, but now you know how it is. Fix. Did you like Victor's story? Conclusion and call to action. Be sure to subscribe and like. and write in the comments which one. For rules of addition, subtraction, multiplication or division seems to you the most difficult to implement. Your activity helps us share useful knowledge with a lot of people.